How's it going, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a mod to the 2013 Ford F-150 that I recently rebuilt from Copart. If you guys saw in the last episode, we installed the side steps and the mirrors from BoostAuto, and today we have another mod from BoostAuto. And this mod is actually something that goes in the interior. On the 12th gen F-150s, there's a couple different options for center consoles. You have your standard console right here that folds out into a seat that everybody likes to swap out. And then you have your center console that's actually similar to this, but it's a half console and it has the column shifter. And then you have this center console, which has the actual lever shifter. So the mod that we're doing today is only going to work for F-150s that have this style shifter. So here's what I got from BoostAuto. It's actually a wireless phone charger that goes into the center console. It just plugs in with your regular 12-volt connector, and it can charge your phone or any other wireless product. We'll go ahead and open this thing up. So this is what it looks like right here. It has a rubber pad right here covering the actual wireless charger. Looks like we have a button right here that turns the charger on and off, and we have the cable that connects into the wiring harness right here. So here is the wiring harness. This end right here is what's gonna plug into your wireless charger. And these two right here are gonna plug into your factory cigarette lighter. Looks like it also comes with a 3-amp fuse just for safety. You can kind of already tell where this is gonna go. It's just gonna replace this cubby right here. So great thing about buying from BoostAuto is they always provide a step-by-step video installation guide for all of their products. So after watching the video and reading the comments, it seemed like people were a little bit skeptical about buying this wireless charger because of how involved the installation steps were. So just like the video on the daytime running lights for their mirrors, I'm gonna try to find an easier solution for wiring things for you guys. So since we need to find a 12-volt cigarette lighter connector just like this to plug this part of the wiring into. So instead of unbolting the entire center console, moving it back to get access to the connector back here, I think I found a simpler solution. So I'm not sure if this is on all models, but inside this center console, there's actually another 12-volt connector right here. This plastic cup piece that houses the cup holders, shift lever, and cubby comes off as one piece. It's just on by clips. There's no bolts at all. We should be able to pull this off, and through here, if I can get access to that 12-volt connector right there, that's gonna make this installation a lot easier. So first things first, we're gonna pop this little trim piece off, just held in by clips. Turn the ignition so we can put the shifter level into neutral. Lift up on the sides, just like that. This entire thing comes off. So it looks like we're gonna have to keep going because we still don't have access to that 12-volt connector. So next step is gonna be taking off this black trim piece. And to do that, we're gonna need to take these 8mm bolts off. Next, we're gonna undo these 3 T30s for the center console lid. Now the lid should come off. Now we'll come to the back and pry on this trim. So after doing this trim piece still doesn't want to fully come out, but I don't think it really matters because we have a little bit of room right here, but that's not really enough room to fit the connector through there. So I think I'm gonna revert back to BoostAuto's instructions on how to install this because I don't really see any other way of doing it unless you go to this connector right here. And to do that, you actually have to remove the radio, which is probably more difficult than removing the center console because there's only 4 bolts that bolt this thing in. So to disconnect the center console, we're gonna remove this piece of trim. Once you get it popped off, it should slide off just like this. As you can see how this plastic piece is. Next, we're gonna have an 8mm bolt here. Same thing on the driver's side, pop this piece out and remove this bolt right here. Next up, we'll move the seat all the way forward. And next we'll go to the back seat where you see this bolt right here. Usually there's a trim right here, but mine's already popped out. Same thing on the other side, move the seat all the way forward and remove this bolt. And would you look at that? I'm making money on this video. After you do that, the center console should be free. So now we'll slide this guy back as far as we can. About right there. Next up, we'll grab our harness, grab this end right here, and then thread it up through the bottom, right where the rest of the wiring is. Once you do that, you can lift up on the center console a little bit and tuck the rest of the wiring underneath the center console. Once you get the wiring to about right here, you can push the center console back in. Now that I've already had you pop this piece off right here, we got 2 7mm bolts right here. Come on, Ford, 7mm. What's up with that? Next, we can pop this off. Now that we have this trim piece popped off, we can route this wiring underneath here, and it will just plug in to this factory connector. The way you disconnect it is push on the tab right here, pop it off, plug the new gray connector in, plug the new black connector into the old gray connector. And now with the wiring routed around this clip right here, we can put everything back together. We'll put these screws back, push this piece back down, put these bolts back on either side, put the seats back to where they belong, put these bolts back on either side. Now put these trim pieces back on, make sure this plastic piece goes over that metal piece, and snap everything back on. Same thing on this side, and now bolt back the center console lid. And the final bolts go back here. And now that we got all of our wiring mounted, we can move on to mounting the wireless charger to the center console. To install the wireless charger, we'll flip this trim piece over and undo these 4 Phillips right here. Now we can pull this piece off and install our new wireless charger with the cable mounted towards the shifter. Should snap into place, and use the original screws to mount everything back together. And there we have it. The wireless charger is installed, and this is what it looks like. Looks pretty sick. Let's install it into the truck. Now I'll put the truck back into neutral. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. We take the connector from the wireless charger, plug it into the connector for the harness, and we'll pop it back in. Now I'll put this trim piece back. Just like that. There's a little red dot there. That means that it's looking for something to charge. And then when you press it, it turns it off. Turn it back on right there. So when you press that button, that pretty much turns the wireless charger on and off. So unfortunately, I'm using my phone to record this, so I'm gonna turn the camera off, put the phone on the charger, see if it works, and let you guys know if it does. Good news, guys, everything worked. The phone was charging. Let's go over all the tools that I used to do this. So here are all the tools that I used to install this. This little trim tool, honestly, you don't really need it. You can just pull it with your fingers. A Phillips screwdriver, a T30 screwdriver, an 8mm, and a 7mm. So that's literally it for the tools. 6 bolts holding in the center console, and that's it. And I gotta say, it really looks like it belongs here. So for those that are a little bit worried about the difficulty to install this, it literally took me about 10 minutes to install, and that was with recording. So if you guys are interested in that wireless charger or any of these other products by BoostAuto, make sure to hit up my link in the description. Thank you, BoostAuto, for sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys in the next video.